I regret nothing.
Welcome to the Running with Scissors I Regret Nothing podcast with Vince Desi, Mike J, and Kurt Willoughby.
Hey guys. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Running with Scissors I Regret Nothing podcast. My name is Mike J, and I'm here with Vince Desi. Say hello to everyone, Vince.
Can you guys hear me out there in La La Land?
Yeah, we see you're recovering from your recent battle with syphilis in bed right now. So
It's a lifelong disease.
yeah,
I have mental syphilis.
mental.
Fortunately,
well, it does cause mental.
yeah.
Syphilis does cause mental problems, actually. So.
There you go.
Well, he's under the weather right now, so we got him in bed. He's got that lovely backdrop, which actually is pretty good looking compared to the normal backdrop we have of yours there. So thank you for that. And Kurt, living in the dark in the rainy United Kingdom, is here. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, it's gone very dark here.
That is
I've just got
Chernobyl
one single
thing.
light to light my... Oh, no, I've got rid of the Chernobyl thing. The red's gone.
Yeah, it's not red anymore. Anyway, so today is today's actually a really big day for the video games industry. It is the Nintendo Switch launch day eve, where gamers unite around the world, lining up at their favorite video game store to get their newest console. And this time it's the Nintendo Switch. I personally did not pre-order one, and I have zero intention of buying one. But it does look like a really new and unique console experience. What do you think about it, Kurt? I know you had some positive things to say about it.
I did. I was really excited about it when they did the first announcement. Sadly, I've not refreshed my mind, but there was a load of things that I heard since the announcement. They did their own showcase thing, and there was a load of things that they said on there that, like I say, it escapes my mind now. But it just really turned me off. I just lost all interest in it from that.
Because you speak Japanese and you could translate directly what they were saying at the. Yeah,
Exactly.
I watched it. It was very underwhelming. The amount of launch games seemed really rather limited. All the games that people really cared about, other than Zelda, aren't even out today anyway. So there's that. I've been reading a couple reviews to stay abreast, and all the reviews say that it's a very unique new console experience, but it's not with its major hiccups, which some of them are fixable, which they're on the software side, and some of them are not. Mainly the not being actually controlling the games without using a paid upgrade controller. They say the main controller is very, very wonky. It's very hard to use. When you split the controllers off the screen and you play two-player, it's really, really hard to use. It's just not a fun experience. So, I don't know. The reviews are good, but they're mostly good about the game. They all love Zelda.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The system name Switch,
Mm-hmm.
is there a meaning behind this, or are
Yes.
they just trying to be socially timing? It's a transgender machine?
Basically, yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, it is.
It operates as a home console, so it comes with a docking station that you plug the console in, and then it works on your TV. And if you're like, I really need to go take a shit, or I need to go on this road trip to grandma's, or whatever, you can pull the system right out of the dock. You connect two controller pieces to the side of it, and now it's a extremely massive, high-resolution mobile console. And the battery life is anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, which is not terrible, but not amazing either for, long-term gaming, especially if you're playing a game like Zelda. I mean, what are you going to do in 4 hours of Zelda? Not a whole lot. But that's where the name Switch comes from. It's a home console and it's a mobile console all in one. And what's cool about it is as far as mobile goes, you can have 8 of them in the same room and all be playing a multiplayer game, which they've had mobile multiplayer gaming before, but this is quite a bit different. And it's kind of cool. Nintendo always seems to come out with something extremely unique. With the Wii, it was all the motion controls, and with the Wii U, it was a controller that kind of looks like the Nintendo Switch does now. But this time it's really big and new, and I think they'll do all right with it. Some of the major gripes I heard about it were they still have the friend ID system, which I don't know if you're familiar with that, Kurt, from the Wii days. But when they added multiplayer, you added friends by a number. Like, you didn't look them up by their username or their email. They had a friend ID, which was, I don't know, a 9-digit number. It might have been bigger or smaller, I don't know. But that's how you found people, which was a really antiquated version of friend matching. And they supposedly still use that right now. And while there's other ways to find friends on the Switch internet system or multiplayer system, that is one of the main ways, which they promised they'd get rid of, and they clearly did not. So here's to Nintendo.
And also the thing, they're allowing you to keep your Miis, but they're not going to support the Mii universe or something.
I have no idea. This is me not knowing a whole lot about it. I'm talking about it, but I'm not very interested. I know a lot of people are. I know John actually was very interested in getting one, so we'll see if his tune changed.
So I was really excited when they did the first initial announcement thing for it, but that just dropped.
Yeah, I mean, even one of the main games they promoted, which was a remake of I believe the Wii U game, the Mario Kart game, is not even ready. And that's just a port. It's not even a whole new game. So seems kind of sad for one of their the Mario game is not going to be out for a few months. So, you remember a time where a Nintendo system was not launched without a Mario game. Like those were the major staple to a Nintendo launch. And then I believe the Wii didn't have a Mario game at launch, and the Wii U clearly didn't have a Mario game at launch, and now the Switch doesn't have a Mario game at launch. So good on them.
I was about to say, for now, I'll stick to this.
You got your Game Boy Color. I've actually been playing. Sorry, go ahead.
I actually just noticed that in the back of it is Super Mario Brothers as well.
I can't see the game. I can only see your colored fingernails.
Sorry, Super Mario Land was in there, so that's what I was last playing on the Game Boy.
That little toy sold over 100 million units. Yep. That's amazing. I mean, think about that.
I bought several of them.
Yeah, well, and actually, that's an old number. I mean, I have no idea where it topped off at. But I don't know. I've always liked Nintendo. Great company. It's a good thing.
Yeah, they actually launched their first third-party game recently. They launched the Mario Run for the iPhone, which I actually play. It's a good game. It's like a forced running game, and you have to touch the screen to jump. But it's really cool, and it was the first time Nintendo actually made a game for another system, which was a big deal to them.
That's the other thing about the Switch, isn't it? Is they've opened it up to other developers. So like they've shown that Skyrim's going to be on it and things. Actually, no, haven't they Is it Skyrim that they've recalled that's no longer going to be on it?
I don't know. I did see that while they said it was going to be open like that, they've extremely limited it. Like it's very.
Oh no! I think it's Borderlands. Borderlands was going to be on it, and that's been changed now. It's not going to be there. I think it's that.
All this. Gonna happen, not gonna happen with the Switch. Maybe that's why they call it the Switch, because nobody really knows what's gonna happen. Anyway, this is our first podcast since the holidays, so I figured everybody could tell a little tale about what they did to ring in the new year, or Christmas, or Hanukkah, or something like that. What'd you do, Vince? Why don't you tell the fans what you did?
It's too long ago. It's 2 months. It's fucking
slept since then.
I mean, the way my life is, 2 months is like, Jesus, it's about 100 years. I think I was in Mexico, then I was in New York. I ate like a pig, lots of sausage and mozzarella, all good things, and raviolis. I ate a lot this holiday season. I mean, Christmas is, a great time. It's just, I mean, I like the whole dieting thing, and I'm very athletic, and I like to go to the gym and stay healthy. But for some reason this Christmas, the mozzarella kept calling.
The diabetes, the diabetes is real.
On a daily basis. And also one of my favorite pastry shops, it's called Russo's. I go there, I get the fucking pinoli cookies. I mean, those are with pine nuts. Anybody that doesn't know what a pinoli cookie is, you got to go get it. It's almost like a macaroon. It's so soft. It's beautiful. It's sweet. I mean, I bag those things. I eat a half a pound at a time. So I'm quite amazed. But yeah, I spent my holidays mostly eating.
Well, that we just discovered why Vince is in bed right now. He's actually bedridden because he's morbidly obese from the holidays.
I don't know what it is. I didn't sleep good last night. I'm fucking yawning on the podcast. No, I don't know. I just wasn't and then I got up early and I still went to the gym today anyway.
Good.
So
good. What about you, Kurt? What did you do for your New Year?
During the holidays, I did a whole lot of very little. It was more just hanging out with the family, looking after the daughter, the usual kind of stuff, getting together.
How old is your little girl now? Because I mean, you know, when you have a little kid, Christmas is very different than when when your kids are, not even coming around.
No, well, this is it. She's over 2 years old now, and she enjoyed it. She really enjoyed unwrapping the presents and all that, but she's just too young, just about too young to understand Santa or things like that. So to her, it was just a random day where people were giving her a load of stuff.
That's great.
Yeah, she still loved it, but it'll be more interesting next year when we can actually do the whole Santa's coming and things like that, and she'll probably actually get it then. So we'll see then. But yeah, it was just a lot of hanging out with the family, having some food, just chilling, really, just relaxing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, wait, Jay, before we hear about your Jewish fest, which I know you don't. Hey, Kurt, over in the UK for the holidays, is there like a typical meal or some symbolic festival meal that you guys, your UK family would have? I mean,
tea and crumpets.
No, for Christmas it's a turkey roast dinner. So
turkey roast dinner.
It's pretty traditional, although I think it's petering out these days that in England you'd have a roast meal every Sunday. Like I say, it's kind of petering out now, but we basically have that on a larger scale, and it's with turkey rather than like chicken or something.
Interesting.
Well, I, now having two different families, had a not so traditional Hanukkah because we're not very religious. But I did, one of my presents this year was a menorah. So I actually lit the candles at home every day this year, which was different than I've ever done in my entire life. So this was the first Hanukkah I actually lit the candles every night. And I had Christmas at my wife's family's house. And for New Year's, I did what a typical Wild Mike J would do. And I went to a giant rave up in Phoenix for 2 nights and partied.
I don't remember anything.
Partied till the sun came up 2 nights in a row. I remember most of it. It was pretty good. It was really loud, and quite frankly, it was a little wet because it rained outside in Phoenix over the New Year's. But we had a good time and kept it lively. That was opposed to last New Year's, which I was very ill, and I pretty much couldn't get out of bed. So this was a nice New Year's, a nice holiday.
And listen, what else has happened since New Year's? We had New Year's. Then around the second week of January, they got Russian New Year's or something. And then
Trump's inauguration was Russian New Year's?
Oh, that's it. Then we had Trump's inauguration. Then what else we had? Black History Month, which I never understood. And then we got the fiascos, also known as the Oscars. But that was beautiful.
Well, we can talk about that later. That's a topic for later.
I just seen something this morning that the guy that'll always be known as Ben Affleck's brother, Casey Affleck, whatever. I didn't see any of the movies, but so there's some stuff on the internet this morning about, I guess he won Best Actor, but he's also been like twice arrested for attempted rape or something. So like, what's that about?
Attempted rape is just what it is. Attempted rape.
It's attempted.
Well, it means he was accused. It doesn't mean he actually did anything.
And I don't want to judge the guy because he might be a great actor. Has nothing to do with the fact that he might be a rapist.
Well, you can be a 2-time Academy Award winner and a 2-time accused and convicted rapist. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. I mean,
that's what I figured. And knowing how the whole Hollywood culture is, I'm not so sure rape is even, an abnormal
Well, let's put it this way.
constant.
Rape accusations are probably not abnormal because I would venture to guess, just like in the professional sporting industry, a lot of young, enterprising people want to, do that to make a nut, get a nice payout. And I'm sure the accusations get thrown around left and right. That's not to say that some of these guys aren't doing it. I mean, it's definitely happening. But I would say a lot of the cases are probably just, hey, look, I had sex with a famous person. I might as well say he raped me. And but you never know. I don't know. It's not worth talking about. Let's move on. Back to the video games industry. We've got the Game Developers Conference is going on right now, which we are once again not attending, clearly, as we're doing a podcast from our home bases right now. But there's been a lot of big things coming out of GDC, and it seems to be a constant topic of our podcasts, but it's where VR is going and where it's been and what we think it will be. And this particular GDC had a lot of VR focus. Biggest announcement was that Oculus dropped the price of their bundle by $200. So now you can get an Oculus Touch bundle, which includes the Oculus Rift and the Touch controllers, for $600 as opposed to the old $800, which puts them in a pretty close place with the PlayStation VR. I mean, Vive is still $800 for the for the whole set, and it's nice that, well, I'm not sure what it actually indicates other than they weren't selling well, but it's nice that you can start to get in here at a lower price point.
They were in last place.
Well, whatever. I'm talking about overall.
Sales numbers came out. Yeah, they came in fourth. They got no, look, bottom line is if they don't get competitive now, it won't matter. And it doesn't matter how good the technology is.
I mean, I think but just because they're fourth doesn't mean everybody's not going to lower their prices. Everybody's are a little bit too expensive, and they need to get real.
And I agree. Right. And so when everyone else is lowering it and they're still outselling it, to me, Oculus should have went 50%. They should have come in at $499 and actually motivated people.
Well, the problem is
800 to 600. It's like jerking off with your left hand instead of your right hand. It means nothing.
$200. $200 off of $800 is a large discount. I mean, the common person buying these things,
25%. 25%.
Are you saying 25%. You wouldn't think 25% off your new car is a huge deal, or 25% off your grocery bag wasn't a big deal? It's a big deal off of anything. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but people buy cars all the time. People buy groceries all the time. They don't buy VR sets all the time.
Right, but when it's 25% off, they're going to be more likely to buy it.
Well, I'm not in charge of their strategic sales and planning.
Clearly, you're not in tune with what a 20-year-old's wallet looks like either, because that $200 can be the deciding factor between buying one and not buying one. I can assure you 25% off is a big deal, especially when just the Oculus and the Touch bundle itself is not going to play VR. They also have to buy a computer that's going to run it, which are also coming down in price, and you can usually get a good VR computer for around $1,300, but they're coming down below $1,000 now. So here's looking up to having a complete VR setup for under $2,000, which is a big deal. I mean, if you can get it under $1,500, I think people would start to do it a lot more. So as a VR developer, I can only say that thank you, Oculus, for lowering your price 25%. Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as other VR announcements, LG came out that they were going to come out with their own headset, and I believe Valve is directly related with this. They're helping them out, and today they actually showed what it looked like, and it's actually the first VR headset where the headset stays on your head and you can actually flip the visor up without taking the unit off. It's a little bulky, but it looks like a nice setup, because for anyone out there that's played with VR, it's a real pain in the ass to be taking the thing on and off when you want to get in and out of VR. It's very heavy, and when you put it on top of your head, it weighs on your neck very poorly, and I don't know, it looks like a good step forward, and it's good to have another option. Having the more options there are, the lower the price is going to be. The LG set actually has a higher resolution per eye, not by much, but it does have a higher resolution. It has the audio The headset's included on the headset, so it's nice as opposed to the Vive, which doesn't. Let's see, what else? They announced that the Vive Tracker and the Deluxe Audio Strap are going to be $99 each. They're only available to developers, unfortunately, but you can now buy a new strap for the Vive, which makes it much easier to adjust and gives you audio for $99, which, is about the same price as a good headset, but that won't affect the strap. So it's a nice combo for $99. And then the tracker, which is just a little unit you can put on the end of a baseball bat or a golf club, will allow anything you have to become trackable through VR. So those are some nice announcements coming from them. They also launched Viveport, which is like Netflix for VR games. It's going to cost $7 a month, and there'll be X amount of releases from Vive Studios that you'll be able to play for a low monthly fee. So those are all the nice VR announcements coming out of GDC. I was
for
actually
those people that are using Roku. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, what were you saying about Roku?
Roku in Mexico is $10 a month. 10 to 20. 10 to 20.
I mean, Roku isn't a service, though. Roku is a box.
I think it's a wall fee.
That's right. They're raising money to build the wall. Is that what you think?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
All right, let's answer some questions from our loyal fans. Wob wants to know when the Postal Redux soundtrack will be available. You want to chime in on this, Kurt? Because I thought it was available.
So did I. It's not actually me that's handling it. I've handed over the tracks. Last I knew, we were waiting to push an update out, and then we pushed it out. But I thought it was out, so I saw that come up, and I've looked on the store page, and it's not there. So I actually don't know.
Well, I will.
We'll have to look into that.
Ping John and find out, and I'll have him blast that out over Twitter. So keep an eye on the Twitter. Are the RWS signs ever coming back? I want to pay someone to shoot up a sign. They are back. They are available on the store now. I have shot and unshot ones. Peacekeeper 1970. So head on over to postalgames.com and you can buy yourself a sign, or 20, or 40. Laserhead asked, I heard that the developers of Ark Survival Evolved will pay modders to work on mods for the games. Will you do something similar? I'm going to answer that with a quick fuck no. We are not paying teams to mod for our games, but if you know anything about us, we have pretty much exclusively hired out of the mod community for Postal. So while I cannot give you $1 to develop for my game, I may one day give you $1 to work for me if you create something that's worth a shit. So
only $1 though.
$1. I've got $1 on it. Someone named Swegta is asking, you must get this one a lot, but will there ever be a Postal 3? And in parentheses, a real Postal 3, and I'm going to let Vince take that one.
I think the simple answer is no. Will there be another Postal? The simple answer is yes. Will it be called Postal 3? Just to be further clarification, I seriously doubt it. There is a Postal 3 for whatever it's worth. It doesn't matter. Time, I don't like to relive the past, but absolutely there'll be Postal in the future. And as to what it will actually be titled, I don't know. And I don't know when it would be. It's not, there's been early different design concepts, but, this is something that's quite a bit of ways. For those people that don't know, we are in deep in development on our new IP. So a new Postal will be something that will come down the road. But yeah, it'll definitely, Postal lives and breathes in us. But the Postal 3 is over. Move on.
I agree. That game sucks balls. We've all tried it.
You know, it's like braces. Okay, after your girlfriend had braces, your dick's all cut up. Look, you don't want her to get braces. They come off.
And she's got a
What do you want
fucking
to do?
muff mouth filled with your fucking untrimmed
Yeah,
pubic hair.
and now what are you going to tell her? Honey, can you please go back and get braces again? No, I'm not going back. We don't go back.
Yeah, we find a new 19-year-old with braces. That's what we
Yes.
do. Next question by I don't know how to say this. Will we have another DLC for Postal 2 one day? That's a good question. While we did enjoy the Paradise Lost development process and the game actually turned out pretty good, once you move on from the antiquated Postal 2 tools, there's not a lot of desire to go back and do that. I mean, it's possible someday we'll do something, but I would look to the future, to be honest with you. There's just not a lot of...
I think, again, to further explain to the folks out there, we've milked that tit more than fucking Farmer John can. So now the idea is, we need a new cow, okay? And that new cow will be a new Postal, and that will come out someday. But, at some point, again, let's move on.
I have a question from a guy named McLeodus, and I'm pretty sure this is my neighbor. And he wants to know if we think VR porn will gain any real traction. How about you answer this one for us, Kurt? Because I know you watch a lot of VR porn.
Well, I don't. I tried. But I couldn't be asked because it was all about downloading all this third-party bollocks, and I really just couldn't be bothered with
Too
it
much
in the
work
end.
to get a FAP in?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the time I spent doing that, I could have gone through several videos just normally, So
I think the place for VR porn is actually with the by far farthest best-selling VR headset, which is the Galaxy Gear. It's much more suited for mobile VR, where there's not a whole lot of interaction. You can just pull up a video on your phone, connect it to your headset, and watch real quick. Whereas with computer VR, there's a lot of steps. You got to install a video player. You have to download these massive videos, in the gigs for a nice 45-second slutfest. Which
the thing is, I mean, there's not really much point unless you've got. I've seen a video of this Japanese company or something that had a VR machine where you had the headset on, you had a body basically in front of you so you could feel the tits or something like that, and then you had a groinal attachment. And that's the kind of thing that you're going to need, because obviously if you've got the mobile thing, then it's not actual VR, it's just like a 360 video.
Yeah,
that's a lot of that's a lot of work. All that stuff you got.
Oh, yeah.
Can't you just go pay a prostitute to come over and have sex with you?
Yeah, this is my other argument for it. But I mean, if you wanted it to be proper VR, you want it to be interactive. But the thing is, to be interactive, that means you haven't got any hands free to do anything to yourself. So you need the machine. And again, like you say, you might as well just go out and get a prosy at that point.
Right. I mean, I'm not watching porn to fuck. I'm watching porn to jerk off. So,
exactly.
I don't know. we're splitting hairs here. Thanks, Terminator, for that question. One more question before we move on to our next dull topic. Does RWS still have an office? Because you guys seem to be all over the world now. Yes, we have an office. I'm currently in it right now. But that said, our team is split up around the world. We are a remote development team. And that's kind of the way we like it, and that's the way it's going to be. So, again, to answer your question, we do have an office. I'm here right now. It is located in Tucson, Arizona. No, you can't come here. So, let's move on to our next topic, and this is something we talked about.
Unless you bring your sister and she's over 18.
Yeah. Please send pictures first. Don't just bring her. The next topic we talked about a few months ago, and this gets back to developers having respect for their fan base and treating them as they expect to be treated, I guess. But Digital Homicide was suing some of their fans for writing negative Steam reviews, and I believe they were suing X amount of fans for, what was it, $18 million, something ludicrous.
I can't remember what it was now, but what it was his name James Romine, I think it was. He tried to get hold of the details for 100 anonymous Steam users because they gave bad reviews. The topic that we've actually got written for the podcast is specifically more about the case against Jim Sterling, because he basically made a video of their first game, I think it was, that came out on Steam, and basically kind of went, this is just a complete asset flip, it's absolute crap, and just gave his honest opinion of it as a reviewer. And yeah, it basically escalated from there, that this guy was trying to like get Jim to stop saying anything about his companies, because he was basically exposing them for being shit developers and trying to con people out of money for doing these crap games. They're basically doing like clone games of their own games as well, and using assets from asset stores. And just
that'd be like if we released a game called Postal 3 and all we did was reskin Postal 2.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
Could do.
We should do that and admit that we're doing that and put it right on the box that this shitty reskin of Postal 2 is still better than the original Postal 3. I don't know. I just don't get it. You know, yeah, you have the Jim Sterling thing here, and you know, they were suing their fans. These people are fucking sue happy. I'd love to have somebody to sue legitimately, but this is pretty stupid. I mean, if you can't do it right, don't take it out on the people that want to give you money. They're not writing reviews on Steam because they didn't buy the game. They're writing reviews on Steam because they bought the fucking game, or the reviewer got it and noticed that it's a piece of shit. So if you can't take shitty comments, don't release shitty products. We know we release shitty products, and we love hearing about how crappy our games are from our fans. That's why for so long we have attracted the fan base that we have, and we've kept our crappy games updated, and we've played on into the joke and had a good time, and that's why our Steam reviews are really, really high. Postal 2 is not a Postal 2 is not a AAA title. We all know that. We've known that from the start. It was a game that was made by 7 guys in an office, spending our own money, having our own fun. We really just made a game we wanted to laugh at, and you know, at first, a lot of the reviewers didn't like it either, and what were we going to do? Sue them? I mean, what the hell? We just stuck with it a long time and, you know, talked to the fans and did stupid shit like this. So, I don't know.
The thing is, if that suit had actually gone through, not like it had a chance at all, but if it had actually gone through, then all it would have done is open up the floodgates for every shitty developer to have sued every reviewer that gave
terrible precedent. Is the word.
I mean, like, this guy, precedent. I was watching because Jim did a video like half an hour long or something, because obviously throughout the proceedings of it all, he couldn't talk about it legally. So now he's opened up to say, this is exactly what happened. And it's ridiculous what the guy tried to do. I mean, like, part of the money that he was asking for, he actually put in there that he was trying to get money back for the time the guy spent learning enough about the law to be able to file the suit.
I mean, you might as well file while you're learning. Was he in law school too? Was Digital Homicide going to law school so they could complete their own lawsuit? Fucking
no,
retards.
It's completely stupid. He did everything. He never even approached a lawyer once to
you got
go over and say, so this is what I'm trying to do.
This is something I learned a really long time ago, and it's a really shitty way to live. But when you're signing up for your concealed carry permit in Arizona, there's one thing they tell you, and this is just about learning when it is legal to and not to shoot somebody. And they tell you that if you think you are in the right, always remember that anybody can sue anybody at any time for anything. So, yes, you have the right to sue anybody for anything. Does that mean you'll win? No. Does that mean you'll go to court? No. But more than likely, if you sue random people for random shit, they're probably going to settle, because it costs a lot less to settle than it does to even go to court and win. So, you know, we haven't been immune to this either. We've gotten random letters in the mail from people sending out frivolous lawsuits. You just throw them away. This is bullshit. Like they threaten you with nothing, and it looks like Digital Homicide was really just trying to threaten everybody and hope that they could get some money out of it. So
that reminded me of another thing he tried to do. He tried to get it heard in a court in Arizona near where the developer is, which is nowhere near where Jim Sterling is. He is in America. He's English, but he's in America. Don't know where. And they were saying, well, you can't really have it done there because he doesn't do any business in Arizona. So apparently the guy signed up to Jim's Patreon, giving him $1 a month, and bought one of his T-shirts as a way to try and prove that he did business in Arizona.
Says, yeah, sue me, you piece of shit. Well, I guess our next topic is more VR. It was a huge milestone in the VR world that the PlayStation VR has sold 1 million units. That is the platinum number historically for albums. So it's nice to see that somebody who has actually disclosed unit sales and is promoting it, because, you know, as a now VR development house, it's nice to know that it's going somewhere, and that we always knew that the PlayStation was going to be the most accessible because any PlayStation 4 will run it, and you just had to drop, I think it's $4.99 for the bundle. You drop $500 and your PS4 will become a VR gaming system. So congratulations to Sony and their PlayStation VR. Has anybody here tried it yet? I haven't.
I tried the demo at last year's EGX Rezzed. And I really liked it. I found it really comfortable. It seemed to be very responsive. I'd actually be very interested in getting one myself. I just sadly don't have the spare money to actually pick it up.
Yeah, it's still not cheap. I mean, you know, it's another $500 that you could buy a Switch and a whole bunch of games with instead of your tired ass PlayStation 4.
Or I could go on eBay and buy another Game Boy.
You could buy another 3 Game Boys and let the whole family play them.
Yep.
All right.
As well.
We have a couple more questions. One's from a Dr. Laszlo. Have you guys ever considered doing a Postal RPG? I'm not an RPG gamer, so I haven't thought about it. I don't know about you, Kurt, but it's not my type of gaming.
I don't mind a few RPGs, but I've never thought about Postal being an RPG. It could be something that we could look into, at least as an element, to when the day comes doing the next Postal game. I don't think it'd be too bad of an idea to have like a hint of it, at least. I don't know if we'd do like a full, proper RPG of Postal, though.
Like Postal MMO?
Yeah.
We'll give a place for everybody to urinate in each other's mouths socially.
Well, you know, that's what everyone would do anyway.
I think that would get pretty tired after a while, though. I mean, I guess if you're into getting peed on, you'd like to get peed on virtually. And yeah, well, there's our idea. So we now have considered making a Postal MMO RPG. So there's your answer, Dr. Laszlo. Thanks for the idea. We're taking it to the bank. Next question. When will Postal 2 Paradise Lost be available on Good Old Gamers, or GOG, as it's called? We've been meaning to do it. We just haven't gotten to it. We've been a little busy moving on to other bigger, better things. We didn't forget about it. We've got some other things to do as far as DRM-free versions of the game, so it will happen. Just, wait a little while, and if you really don't want to get it on Steam, then it'll come. But we highly recommend you go to Steam. Steam is where we are releasing everything we do first, and it's where we put all of our updates, so, maybe you should join that community, Mr. Laserhead. Next question. Will there be a Polish redubbing for Postal Redux? From Saiga223. As far as doing other languages right now, it's not really in our plans. Yeah, we've had some Polish remakes in the past, but we had companies that were willing to do it. It's not the easiest and cheapest thing to do on the planet for what is considered a relatively small windfall. So it's possible if we had the right connections Hell Sega 2223. If you know anybody that would like to help us out with the audio recording, connect them with us, and we'd be more than happy to talk to them about it. But no, it's
Just
not
get Marchin to do it all.
Marchin can do all of it. Yeah, he's our luck kit guy right now, so we'll give him even more. One more question before we move on to our final crappy topic. Do we plan on expanding the RWS store with more merchandise? For example, a crotchy morale patch. I don't know what a crotchety morale patch would be.
What's a morale patch?
I don't know. Maybe we can get Peacekeeper to give us a little nod of what the hell he meant. But the answer is, yeah, we're always looking for more merchandise to put on the store. It kind of has to make sense. The dolls made sense because it was something in the game. The signs make sense because it's our logo. But historically... Sorry, go ahead.
From the looks of it, morale patches are like the patches you'd put like on a denim jacket or something like that. It's like the sewn patches.
No, we've never thought about that. But now we have, so maybe we'll do that. I don't know. There's always more we could do with Crotchy. We never have not wanted to do more with Crotchy. But the dolls always made sense because that's what he was in the game, and now we're all out of the talking ones. And I actually want to thank our viewers because I had a whole lot of talking Crotchy dolls, and I think either the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, I really promoted, I need to sell these fucking things, and we don't have any anymore. All the talking ones are gone. Now all I have is a bunch of broken-ass Crotchy dolls that a bunch of Chinese children put together, and I don't know. If anybody wants to buy them, they're cheaper than the talking ones were. They still have the same plush ball feel and the same unique crotchy smile. And if you play with them enough, they might talk. They do have talk boxes in them. They do have buttons. If you fuck around with the insides of that thing long enough, it just might talk to you. So
I've got one of them.
Buy a non-talking crotchy doll. What'd you say, Kurt?
I've got 2 crotchy dolls. I think I've got one that talks and one that doesn't.
Well, you might have the old one that didn't talk. These ones are legitimately broken. We ordered a few thousand talking crotchy dolls from China, and lo and behold, the baby factory that produces our dolls sent us roughly 50% of them didn't work out of the gate. So I'm sure it ended up being more than that over time because they sit in these boxes and they rot, and then when I finally need to sell them and it doesn't fucking yell at me when I squeeze the nut, there's another broken one. So buy yourself a cheap broken crotchy doll. But other merchandise, yeah, I mean, to be honest, right now, the shirts, the games, the signs, and the dolls, that's kind of where we're at. That doesn't mean more is not coming. Quite frankly, the stuff that we're working on will probably translate into more merchandise here some point soon in the coming year.
We should look into again. We should make a mic doll that talks when you squeeze his nuts.
Is that the only time I talk?
Yep.
Maybe that's the only time I don't talk. Did you ever think about that?
Actually,
maybe the doll doesn't shut up until you squeeze
but then you
gotta
hold. The thing is, then you gotta hold your nuts constantly just to get you to shut up.
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Keep this in mind whenever I actually meet you.
Yeah. So don't send us ideas for merchandise because we don't want to steal your ideas. But I'm sure we'll come up with something nifty. And as far as things go on our site, there will be something new this year if you guys didn't know. And we didn't even fucking mention this at the beginning of the podcast. This should have been bigger than the Nintendo Switch launch event. It is now 2017, which means it is now the 20th anniversary of Postal. If you guys didn't know, the game came out in September or October of 1997. And so right now we are in our 20th year as a company. And I'll let Vince talk about that because, he's the only one of us that was here then. So
I think actually the original Postal came out in November of 97. In March of 97, we announced that we created a new development company called Running with Scissors. And then shortly after that, about a week later, I announced that our new company, Running with Scissors, our new title would be Postal. And then it didn't take long after that to get into the whole legal trouble because of the word and stuff like that. But it was actually published, I believe, first week November.
According to Wikipedia, it was released the 30th of September. But that's Wikipedia. That doesn't mean shit.
Well, if Wikipedia says that's when it came out.
I got to tell you, Wikipedia is about as accurate as, predicting Mike J's dumps. No, I used to like Wikipedia years ago. I found it to be a great, quick source for information, but I found so much of it to be inaccurate. And then, however, people just they voluntarily update it, and I mean, it's insanity.
Well, you can update it yourself, but they do have a very stringent monitoring system that will delete just about anything you put on there, unless it's
I remember
sources.
years ago. I remember editing Wikipedia, and I couldn't keep up with it. It's like I made a correction, and a week later, it was back to what was wrong or a new version of what was wrong.
Well, if it's about us, then yeah, I'm sure the moderators aren't sitting there nuking everything.
No, but I'm just saying it's unfortunate, because if it's happened to us, which I know for a fact, not fake news, then just imagine how many other topics are just how would you say, not as accurate as they should be.
Well, that's why you can't use Wikipedia as a source for school.
Yeah. I generally look at it as it's a good place to go for an overview of something, but if you want to really get into the detail, do the fucking research yourself. But yeah. I've managed to segue us away from the whole 20th anniversary thing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Well, the 20th anniversary is this year. We will do something. We've not finalized it ourselves. And, I just am quite amazed. And I mean, this is another great opportunity to just thank everybody that's out there. Not only the fans who have bought the games, bought the add-ons, shared the games, brought new friends to the Running with Scissors world. But I'd even like to take the time to thank all the reviewers that hated us, all the people in the mainstream press that hated us, all the people of the game industry that lied about us. And also the politicians and the government, everybody, because at this point, I look at it kind of in a historical way. It's all of it, I mean, I wouldn't look, I have no regrets, and I wouldn't want to take any part of it out of what has been the 20-year history, because really, when you look back at it now, it's all part of the 20 years. And I mean, don't get me wrong. At times when the shit was hitting the fan, or we were running into problems and trouble, oh yeah, I was angry, I was upset, I was pissed off. But when you look back at it now, it's pretty amazing. It's 20 years later. We're still here. We're working on our new IP, and it's quite glorious to be in a position to have made a game that had add-ons and sequels that has survived 20 years. How many games? Well, today, a lot of games have at least a sequel, but that's just a business decision. It's not because they deserved even to have a sequel from a fan standpoint. But not a lot of games, get to this iconic level, if you will. So I'm quite happy, quite proud, and I thank everyone equally, the haters and the lovers.
Yeah, I see in the chat, Medic1232 says, Postal changed my life, and I am not joking around. It really did. Well, I, as well as probably every other team member, can say exactly the same thing, because all of us really just came in as fans. I mean, I remember going into Vince's office back in the late 90s just to check out the office and meet him. And, fast forward 2 years later, I was working there. So here I am today, 16 years later, and I'm still here. So thank you, Postal. Thank you, Vince. And thank you to everybody that's played the game, bought the game, pirated the game, told their friends about the game, shit on us, didn't shit on us, loved us, whatever it is, we don't care. Thanks for doing it. If you mention us, we don't care if it's bad or good.
One thing I just would like to say, too, though, is over the years, I always would get a great kick and joy out of an email from somebody that said, hey, man, I just really want to basically, be honest with you. I ripped your game 5 years ago. I played the shit out of it. I really loved it. And I'm just happy to see you guys are still doing your thing. and people have sent us money. Now with PayPal, they make it easier. But I can remember like years ago, I got checks in the mail for $2, $5, $10 from people that said, I stole the game, but here's $5. And that really, look, I mean, of course, obviously, I don't endorse the stealing, but there's something to be said for do what you love, put it out there, and if people really like it and appreciate it, not everybody can afford to buy a game when it comes out. Some people get it from their friends, but you just gotta, who was the name of the drummer from Metallica, Jay? You know him well.
Lars.
Lars. When we had that remember that whole music incident, and he was, and he was like leading it like a fucking maniac and coming out and hating fans. I mean, I was never a big Metallica fan. I'm in a different age group, but I was like, this guy's made millions of dollars, and here he is, basically. I mean, what a fucking cheap Jew. And I don't mean that, before I start getting anti-Semitic mail. I use most of my adjectives are used to describe character, not ethnicity. But really, I found that to be so offensive to think that somebody, what are you going to get in the way of technology? You know what I mean? Look, it just.
Well, not to mention that's how they got big, was by handing out pirated copies of their own albums. I mean, that's how they got big back in the day, and then they shit on it when it was helping them in the future too. So,
well, I've been to gigs where the guys on stage, whether they're signed or not, the last band I saw do this were signed. They've been recording albums for like 10, 15 years, still putting them out there, and they were set up on stage saying, "We don't give a shit how you get our new album, buy it, rip it, whatever. We just want you to hear these songs,
enjoy the music."
I'm sure the label didn't appreciate it, but
they don't have, that band doesn't have a label. There with self.
Oh well, then of course they can do whatever the fuck they want. So anyway, thanks. 20 years, thanks, and I want to sort of segue into our last topic, which we just bring up every edition. What movies and TV shows have you been watching lately? I do a lot of this shit, so it's always fresh in my mind. How about you, Kurt? Have you been watching anything lately?
Nope. Me and the wife finally finished watching Penny Dreadful. We're going to be moving on to Supernatural season 11 because we're big fans of that. But we always wait until we get hold of the DVDs rather than watching it on TV or online or whatever. Just so then we can binge watch it.
There's something, I do. While I do enjoy the binge watching, which obviously happens with Netflix
I have no reception if you guys could hear me, but that's okay.
Yeah, you're coming in and out. But I do like binge watching shows. There is something to be said for the weekly grind of catching one episode and then thinking about it. I mean, it does allow for going on subreddits and forums and discussing fan theories and having a good time figuring it out. Whereas when a show is completely released, like on Netflix, it's like, yes, you can watch episode after episode after episode, but it takes some of the fun out of it. Like me and my friends love to watch an episode of Game of Thrones together and then talk about it for the ensuing week or possibly two, depending on what's going on.
So I don't mind discussing with friends things like that, but I've never been one to go online or anywhere to like try and work the things out. I've always had the things, whether it's with films, TV, books, whatever. I like it to tell me the story, so I try not to think about it too much. If that makes any sense at all.
No, it does. It does, because something like Westworld, for instance. When Westworld came out a few months ago, I started following all the subreddits and all the fan theories, and that was the first time I've ever seen every single fan theory was exactly right. And while it's something of a little bit of oh yeah, we knew that, it takes away from it when it ends up being true. So I guess I like it more when I'm guessing and I'm wrong. I still like to be told, which gets back to watching things that are also books. And is it a better experience to have read the book and see the changes on TV, or watch TV and then have to read through this story slowly? So, it really depends on how you like your story to be told or how you like to figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, been watching the latest series of a web series called Con Man. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Mm-mm.
Do you know actors Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion?
Yes.
They did a thing. Who did they do it with? Can't remember what it is. It's one of the crowdfunding websites where they wanted to basically do this web series about a man who goes to all these sci-fi conventions and all the rest of it, and he's loved for this old program that he used to do, but he's really jaded on it. He wants to move on, and he feels like he's stuck, kind of thing. So it's basically that.
Sounds like Gary Coleman when we used to work with him. He's only known for one thing, but he wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, basically that's it. But because these guys, they always go to the conventions, they love meeting up with their fans and all the rest of it, but they've got all these weird stories from it. So it's basically their way of like taking all these stories and putting it into a show. And they got funded for that, like I say, crowdfunding. And then last year, I think it was, the official Comic-Con guys actually decided to pick them up and fund them for the second series. So that's up on Steam now, and I've been watching through that. So
I wonder if any of them has as good of a story as I do from when I used to piss on people at GDC.
Probably not.
Wow. That's a true story.
I don't know if you remember that, Vince, but
Oh, I do. I mean, it's been a while. Yeah, I mean,
I'll give you all a little tip. If you're ever out and you really, really just want to pee on somebody, like somebody's really pissing you off, get yourself a drink, finish it, take it to the bathroom, piss in the cup, and then bring it back out on the dance floor with you. Remember not to drink it, and then dump it all over somebody by accident. That's how you pee on somebody if you don't like them. That's a little tip from Mike J.
I actually had a friend, this isn't a convention, but I had a friend who went to this metal festival here in England called Download. And he was just in the middle of the massive crowd, and he just suddenly started feeling his back getting warmer.
Hell yeah.
Turn around, this guy who just didn't want to leave. He was just there pissing up his back.
Hey, you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I know exactly how that is. Same GDC, I was at, I'm not even going to say which party, but the bartender wasn't helping anybody. I just started pissing on the bar. This is a long time ago. This was a different Mike J. I am a reformed man now. I would now not piss directly on the bar.
Rehabilitated from pissing on people.
I am rehabilitated from peeing on people.
Oh my God. Is that partially a postal influence? I mean,
I
really?
get, well, Postal 2 had come out before this, so maybe I got influenced by Postal. Yeah, that's very possible. I was desensitized to urinating on people, so I felt the need to throw my own urine on people I disliked. Movies and TV shows. Is there anything you're watching, Vince? You haven't had any time to watch anything?
The thing that, and not by choice, but I've been watching a lot of fake news.
We're not talking about that. No.
No. I will talk about it. I will talk about it in general. I don't know how it's being presented outside the U.S. Or even here in Latin America, but I am amazed at how nobody really knows what's true anymore. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not even saying what political, what side you're on or what you're in favor of or who you like or don't like or whatever. It's just the news in general is no longer news. It's all opinion. Yeah. And it's really hard to figure out. I mean, I think it's like, unless you see something like live on TV happening, it's really just somebody saying this is the news. I can't believe any of it anymore. It's horrible. I mean, we really, news is good. People, I think it's important that people get the news, but unfortunately, it's just not news anymore.
All right. So are you watching any TV shows?
Let's see. Well, believe it or not, I've been watching the Big Bang. I watched some of those reruns.
There you go. That's good.
That show. I mean, it might sound funny, but I love that show. I get it. I just enjoy it. I mean, it's. I think if anything, I watch more comedies given a chance because I'm just so tired of this, of Hollywood. I'm tired of any news channel. I'm just tired of all of that crap. So I enjoy watching I mean, if I get to watch The Big Bang, I'll watch old Seinfeld. I mean, the other day I even watched some really old shit like Honeymoon shit. I mean, really. Then I was watching some. I watched a good Austin. The other night I watched The Lady from Shanghai, which this will be great. It's a black and white movie, and it was Orson Welles written, produced, directed, and it was about 5 years after he did Citizen Kane, which was so-called masterpiece. Some people consider the greatest film ever made, blah, blah, blah. So in this movie, The Lady from Shanghai, he also stars in it. And it's a good movie. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's good, and I enjoy it. And I like a lot of that whole black and white era of filmmaking. But there was a great line in it. And he's playing this guy that's this ex-sailor, and he's hired by Rita Hayworth, who's a drop-dead bombshell from that period, pinup supreme. And somebody makes the line, because he's about to come on board, and he's going to basically work on their yacht and travel the world. And the line was, "Life starts now." And I thought that was just a brilliant line, because every day I wake up, my life starts. I'm all about like daily reincarnation.
He was reborn, my friends.
I'm telling you, it was a great. So anyway,
the gay frogs brought Vince back from the dead.
You get a chance to watch Lady from Shanghai, Orson Welles, if you're into classic films.
All right. Anyway, I need to answer a question. Someone wants to know what my favorite gun is. Well, personally, I only own 2 guns. I own some revolver that I can't even give you a brand on, and then I own a XD9, and I guess my own XD9 is my favorite gun. I hope that settles this for you, Peacekeeper. And it would appear that Kurt's favorite gun is a Nerf shooter. So
that's a double barrel.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's got to blast his kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, they're flipping.
Yeah.
So back to the movies and TV shows. I want to talk about a show that I have been watching with some friends. It's called The Expanse, and I've been telling everybody to watch it. I've been telling Kurt to watch it for a while. I've been telling John to watch it for a while. John finally tuned in, and he loved it. It is what we are calling the new Game of Thrones or Battlestar Galactica combined. It's a show on Sci-Fi, the Sci-Fi Network in the U.S., and abroad it's on Netflix. It is amazing. It stars Tom Jane, and all I know is everybody here needs to watch it. It is phenomenal. Everything I do all week leads up to the new episode coming on. I love the show so much that I have started reading the books, and the books are amazing too. So if you are even remotely into sci-fi, I would tune in, because it is extremely good TV. It's not hard sci-fi, but it's not soft sci-fi either. There's plenty of good science fiction in it, and the acting is just out of bounds. So that's my TV input for now. As far as movies go, the only thing I've seen recently was Lego Batman. It was hilarious.
How was that?
Very good.
Was it good?
Yeah, very funny. Will Arnett's one of my favorite voice actors. I'm partial to him because I was such a big Arrested Development fan, and I love Will Arnett, and I love his voice. And him doing Batman in the original Lego movie, I thought was hilarious, and they gave him a whole movie. And at first I thought, wow, what the hell are they going to do? But it is one of the better Batman movies that has ever come out. It's really well done. It's funny, and it really picks on all the different types of Batman, especially the original Adam West Batman. It has a lot of stuff making fun of the original Batman. So that is my input there. As far as the Oscars go, the only movie I saw that was nominated for Best Picture was Arrival, and I loved it, but it didn't win. We don't really even know what won at this point, because someone was tweeting and announced or gave the wrong envelope over, so they announced the wrong movie, which is an epic fuck up, but we don't need to talk about it because it's been talked about at length and it's tired. So that's about it. We'll be back probably in the next month or two, and we'll have some hopefully better topics to talk about. And, one of these times we're going to get some special guests on the show. We'd like to bring on Rick Hunter. We'd like to bring on Corey Cruz, maybe Randy Jones. Maybe we can raise Gary Coleman from the dead. We
The
can
local mailman, somebody in your office.
We can bring in Dead Drunk Gamer's sister or Medic 1232's mom onto the show. They can come guest star. So
listen, I'm sick here with a fever. So to anybody that's wondering why I'm low key, next time I look forward to being my
and
normal.
He's been getting blown the whole episode.
My cover is
blown. All right, guys, tune out. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends to check out our show. We like to bullshit for you people and answer your garbage questions and talk about stupid shit. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. All the best. Kurt, God bless, pal. Take care.
You guys too. Thanks for everyone for coming as well. Bye.
And only the same song that